I'm so excited to watch that. I always went to that little basketball machine.
Honestly,
Oh my god, it's over the side. Yeah, it's like...
Why am I dedicated to the theater? Because I think it's the most awesome thing for a community this size that you can have.
And I think that Sumner's truly blessed to have the theater.
Welcome to Sumner, Iowa, population 2009. There's one thing that this small Iowa community has that others may not: the Sunset Theater. The Sunset looks like an ordinary small-town theater, but moviegoers at the Sunset only pay 99 cents for a movie. Sit back and listen to those who've kept the Sunset marquee lit up for the last 10 years. This is the tale of a small town's big screen.
It took about a year before they were talking about getting a movie theater to represent like what Grundy Center did with their 99-cent theater. So they kind of just formed a committee, and then they formed a board of directors and started slowly gaining speed on how to open up a movie theater. But they had no funds. They had a shell of a building, but nothing inside of it. So they just reached out to the community, and the community really outpoured and donated a lot of money, pretty much paid for about 85% of the entire project. It did help, though. A lot of the construction was all volunteers. Most of the construction inside the theater was all volunteer-based. So they put a lot of effort into that.
this place couldn't possibly operate unless it was for every member of the community that helps keep this place running.
The first Monday they opened up, my late wife and I came, and we joined the Monday night crowd, which was to pay $20, and you got to come to every Monday night movie free. It was our date night, and so that was always special.
When we all started the Sunset, we were all fairly new. So we were kind of hand in hand together as a learning process. For all 6 of us, it was just a learning process for the beginning of us, for all of us to move forward.
You know, you hear people say, do what you love, and it like doesn't feel like you're working, and that's kind of what it's like here. We're all good friends, and the theater community, well, like the theater staff members have just kind of formed their own friend group that anyone who's been a past or current employee is kind of still friends. Like, we're all friends with each other still.
I'm actually still friends with a lot of them. I actually still hang out with a few of them every once in a while too. We always talk about the good old days at the Sunset when, 10 years ago when we opened up.
I don't think of myself as like on a higher pedestal or anything than anyone else. I just see myself as an employee of the theater.
The atmosphere created by the employees of the Sunset is not something that can be found at every theater.
We want something that sets us apart from like the big theaters, like you walk into a big theater and you just go up to the guy and say, I want popcorn and pop, and he gives it to you. But you come into our theater and, if you want to, we'll sit there and have a conversation with you.
The laid back atmosphere it doesn't feel like a business, and sometimes that's a good thing, and at other times it can be a bad thing. But I think overall it's a good thing. It doesn't feel as much like a business. It feels more like a friendly place to hang out and go to a movie. And you're not spending a ridiculous amount of money for ticket price or anything like that.
It's just kind of homey and friendly, and it's not like going out of town where they see so many people that you're just a number down there, where here they try and make you feel like you're at home.
When the screen is rolled up, the Sunset becomes home to a different kind of entertainment.
And they do hold community theater there as well. Yeah. They have some productions. I think once or twice a year they'll have live theater there.
Well, this is the debut. Fame will be my directing debut, I guess. And then I have student directed a show in high school. My sophomore year I did.
I like supporting the community, and it gives people something different to do. It's not just the movie, it's a live play, you know, with community members that they all know, respect, and want to see have fun.
It's going to give people more things to do. I mean, going to a live theater is way different than going to a movie, and I just think it'd be a neat opportunity.
Having worked here like my whole high school career, it's just really cool having this final production be at the end of the year before graduation here, my directorial debut. It's really awesome.
The reopening of the Sunset gave the community back something it had been missing since the door shut.
We felt that it is a good thing for the community to have the theater so our young people don't have to always be driving to the other cities. It's also a drawing point for the community when people come to look at a community to live in.
This has been a place that has changed the face of the community. It's been a real instrumental role in bringing people into the community and getting more people involved with things throughout the community by connecting people through this building, this place, this establishment.
There really isn't a whole lot to do, especially in a small town. So to have a theater that people can go and you know, have something to do with their spare time, whether it be, you know, the kids or as a family that's close to home, is really nice.
And that's one reason why I've always done the Monday night pass, and I try to get other people in the community just to buy the pass even if they don't come, because you're supporting the theater and it's only $20. And if you just come to 20 movies, you broke even.
I think everyone here, especially the ones who helped, just kind of feel a sense of accomplishment because a lot of them helped just build this entire place and renovate the whole thing and do all of the work that went into opening this place.
When we first opened up, it was volunteer-based only for the concessionists and stuff like that.
The board is all volunteers, and they're the business men and women of this community who care enough to keep the theater going. And you know, just seeing those people that volunteer and give their time, and they put a lot of time into, you know, the governing of the theater.
There is still some regular volunteers that, from what I know, understand, still there. They come out on a weekly basis and still help out.
It's volunteering and just working shows for free, coming in and doing maintenance work, or helping with donations, fundraisers, and this and that. At the same time, if we just call and ask someone, could you please help us, they're more than willing to help.
They're the ones that keep this place running, and they do, literally and figuratively. They're the ones that come to the movies and bring in the money and allow us to stay open, but they're also the ones that come in and work for us if we need it. We have volunteers on certain nights of the week that'll come in and they'll help us with shifts and help serve the people, and the community members know that about them. So I'm hoping that with that, maybe more people will be encouraged to become a volunteer, help out the theater more often.
It's unreal. Like it's really hard to put into words.
Even though this small-town theater has survived, there have been plenty of challenges.
Yeah, I think there's been some periods where they've struggled.
So we were using this old projector right here, and this is one of my first experiences at the theater.
The biggest disaster that I was there.
It was with the old manager, Brandon Zelli, who runs the Palace.
Usually on a Thursday night, when it was filmed, you always had to splice the film together and stuff like that.
But we were previewing the movie, which you have to do to just make sure it works before you actually play it for a showtime.
To make sure your reels weren't backwards, your reels were in order, 1 through 5 or whatever it may be.
I was watching the screen, and this hole started in the like in the middle of the screen, and then just grew and looked like something was melting.
All of a sudden we look on the screen and it just starts on fire. The film got stuck in the projector and caught on fire.
And then I just heard a scream from behind me, and I just heard Brandon running up the stairs.
I don't think I ever ran that fast, and I ran track in college, but I don't think I ever ran that fast up those stairs to see what the heck was going on. Had to get the fire extinguisher and put it out.
We spent the entire night trying to fix like the film and splice it back together and make sure it could work.
We spent about a good 13 hours, and there was probably easily 2,000 cuts and splices in that film that we had to do.
We got it fixed. I mean, all the time, well, a lot of the times we've gotten it fixed on time.
The employees rallied behind me. We had about 8 of us. I just called them all in from the few that were there and the few that came in, and we sat there all night long, cutting and splicing it and putting it all back together again.
There's been tons of little stories and things like that have happened, but that's the one that sticks out in my mind most.
Despite the struggles and challenges, the theater has big plans for the future.
I think through the years it has kind of kept snowballing on itself, like, oh, what else can we do to get more people involved? What else can we do to keep this place going? And I'm definitely proud of the way that the community has made it that way. They're the ones that built this place, they're the ones that keep this place going, and hopefully they'll be the ones that keep it going in the future.
And now we notice that it's expanded a long ways.
When I was there, we always talked about putting on a second screen. And I know as of like 3 years ago, they bought the building next to them for a second screen. Converging to digital has slowed the process down to raise funds for the second screen, because film is now obsolete. You have to be digital, you're not playing a movie. So that really slowed the wheel down for them. So they're slowly picking up steam again to get that second screen going for them.
We have big plans to make this into a second screen for our theater. It's kind of ideal to make a theater. We have what could be a concession stand or ticket counter right here, ready to go. We would probably end up clearing out this area and turning it into a lobby, which would be great. And then right back here, we would have doors to go into the auditorium, and we would gut all of this and then put seats in here and a screen in the back.
I don't know if we have enough people coming to the theater every night to support a second screen, but boy, I would hate to lose it. I would hate to lose the one screen that we do have.
I hope that we can maintain that entity, because I think it is important to keeping that downtown vibrant.
So I would hope that it would be able to survive, be it through community support or donations or whatever it takes. I would really hope that it would survive.
They always say in the movie theater business, if you're open for 5 years, you'll be open forever.
Even though these chapters of the theater have been written, the story of the Sunset Theater is far from finished. Thanks to the support from the community and all who walk through its doors, the big screen in this small town has many more stories to tell.
So you know I got that on recording, and that's going to be a blooper.
I just woke up 30 minutes ago.
Little kids, why are you not in school? Action. Where do you see...
Blooper. Billy.
We at least needed a few questions, that way, like,
what I want to be, is I want to be on the blooper reel.
Yep, you will.
You'll be on the blooper reel. You'll be on the blooper reel for sure.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You know, people watch that. They don't watch the rest of the stuff. They watch the bloopers.
Ah, it's the bloopers.
Oh, right. The bloopers are the